Coming at you live from DNHQ in beautiful South Pasadena, California. This is the Blue Heaven Podcast. What is going on, Dodgers Nation? My name is Clint. You can find me. Hey, nobody asked you, computer. My name is Clint. You can find me as Beautiful Real FRG on Twitter and Instagram. That gentleman right there is the one, the only, the magical, the delicious, the legendary DMac_LA Doug McCain. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing great. Baseball is back. They split the series, so you want to see some more wins. But, hey, lots to talk about around Major League Baseball. I'm feeling great.
Lots to talk about. Guys, let us know where you are representing Dodgers Nation tonight. Drop your area codes. Not the zip codes and area codes, because that's 3 numbers and that's easier to read. But drop those into the comments. We want to know where you guys are getting geared up to watch your Dodgers play meaningful baseball against the tied for first place Rockies and their powerhouse lineup featuring CJ Cron. But on today's show, we were talking about week one takeaways. We have a new segment. It's not really a new segment. It's just what we're calling it, but it's love it, hate it. And we're going to talk about 2 things we like, 1 we didn't like from the week, and we have to talk about our biggest concerns or the bigger concern, whether it's the offense, whether it is the bullpen, and look ahead at the week that we got. We got a bunch of baseball coming up. Because it's the regular season. That's what happened. There's a lot of baseball. So
games on games.
Before we get into it, got to remind you, this is a podcast. We are on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play. Everywhere your podcasts are available for free, we live there. So if you don't want to watch us or you can't watch us live, go ahead and find us on the podcast thing. It makes DJ producer Cody feel real good. And by the way, Cody's back. Give him the clap.
What's up, you lovely people?
It hasn't been the same without you.
Sorry.
Welcome back.
It was a rough week, man. There was no Cody. You weren't here last week. I had to deal with that one schlub. What's his name? Noah?
He did a great job. Manny Mota, great pinch hitter, right? Noah killed it.
But we had some fun last week. But now we're back to normal. And let's find some comments. Let's see. We got Randall checking in from the 252 in North Carolina. Anthony Keene in the stream. Yo, happy Monday, my dudes. Noise by Elsa from Oakland, the greatest city in the world.
Let's go.
Oh, man. Isaac checking in from Big Bear. What else you got? Let me know what you see there, D-Mac.
DKM Syndergaard did great. Anyone else watch? Yeah, we're going to talk about him a little bit. Michael Carrillo giving us our first Fire Roberts of the show. It can't be a Blue Heaven podcast without a Fire Roberts. Then apparently I have my agent in the comments saying Doug McCain has become easily the best Dodgers coverage person in the country. That's from DB Grainer. Also says, I hope he stays, but he needs a raise from Dodgers Nation for that to happen. So, DB Grainer, you're going to be getting your 20%. Appreciate you, my man. We got JP from the 909. Isaac repping from the 909. But, yeah, man, it's going down. Dodger baseball is here. Some high ups, some downs. We're going to get into it.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the first week of baseball. Dodgers, as you said, they're 2-2. Not the most ideal look that you would hope for when they were facing the Diamondbacks. So, of course, we did say in the season preview show, hey, the Diamondbacks could be a pretty decent squad. And I don't know if it was so much the Diamondbacks were good and maybe the Dodgers not quite being super great yet. We'll figure that one out as we go along. But what do we want to talk about first? We want to address the Trayce Thompson elephant in the room with me and my hot, bold takes, or do we want to talk about Anthony Rendon first?
I'll leave that up to you. It reminds me of the take from this segment of the Herd with Colin Cowherd, where Colin was wrong, where Colin was right. I mean, I'll get your back if you want, because I will say it is one game. It is one
game so far.
And we won. And
it was on April 1st.
All
right? I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, look, he was an outer body experience for Trayce Thompson. I think everything about it, from the fact that they all had the same exact exit velocity at 107.5 miles per hour. The Uno Dos Trayce Thompson hitting threes. It was definitely a magical night. You feel good for him. And look, the reality is that for him to stay on this team, you need to see him have success early on. So it was a great start for Trayce Thompson. And really, he got back to what he was doing when he was raking last summer. You know what that was? Punishing mistakes. All those pitches, round belt high, heart of the zone, and we know that he can punish a mistake. That's never been the question. So, yeah, you got to feel good for Trayce Thompson. There's no question about it.
Yeah, you feel good. I mean, he was one of those situations like, I don't know what to do with my hands. Getting the curtain call, getting multiple interviews with Kirsten Watson, and having to talk to the media, which he absolutely hates, and I completely understand that. But you know, I like Michael Carrillo's comment here. Trayce bought himself until June, and that's the reality. I don't think he has very many more than the 3 hits that he has so far. I don't think he has very many more by the end of April. I mean, he'll get some more hits, but, you know.
Yeah, I mean.
Good job on you, Trayce. You trolled me. You trolled me hard. That's the way you do it. You come out, play your first game, hit 3 home runs. I love it. Make me look like a damn fool.
MLB leading home run leader.
Yeah,
Trayce Thompson.
Yeah,
RBI leader, I think, still at the moment. He's got it all in the bag.
Yeah, no, I
He
mean,
is. Yes, he's leading
8
in
RBIs,
and
tied
home
with
runs.
CJ Crone and Joey Gallo, our old friend, with 3 bombs this season. So yeah, I mean, a great start for Trayce Thompson. So yeah, I think that for him, I mean, you look at that game that he had, and the fact that also, yeah, you mentioned the 8 RBIs. That joined guys like Gil Hodges, AJ Pollock, Yasmani Grandal, Agon, and Ron Say. Loney and Hodges are the only to have the Dodgers record with 9. Loney and Hodges have 9. So, yeah, it was 1 off for the Dodgers all-time record. I remember that game with Loney, that 19-6 game back in, I think it was like 2006 or something like that. So, yeah, a big ribby game for Trayce Thompson. And maybe, look, the good thing is that has been a constant theme throughout the history of the Blue Heaven podcast. And you guys realize that we're playing 3D chess here. You think that we're trying to get our points across because we don't want a player to succeed. No, the reality is we want that player to succeed. So you kind of hedge your bets, do the reverse hedge, and then look what happens. Trayce Thompson should have given you all 3 of those balls, in my opinion, and autographed them.
I would love to have Trayce Thompson's balls. Cut that. Nobody. Thank you.
Set you up.
No, yeah, and honestly, throughout the history of the show, we've seen it happen more or time and time again where we say something about somebody, it's like, hey, it either inspires the hell out of them or it's a complete reality. That's the reality we like to live in. You know,
yeah.
Part of doing
and
this.
Look, the reality is sometimes baseball doesn't make any sense. Every single advanced metric, when you look at predictive stats, when you look at the way he was hitting the ball, the high BABIP numbers, everything pointed to him having regression to start
training,
this season.
His
spring
demeanor,
training.
what Dave Roberts was saying, like the way he was carrying himself talking about him.
Yeah, but it was funny.
This was going to happen.
What Noah was telling me, like I said, when I tweeted out, I was saying that I'll never forget when he looked me dead in the eye and he said, I know I can hit lefties. Yeah. It sent chills up my spine. I know he was a man on a mission. I also know I say, hey, Trayce, thanks for the time. Yeah.
And he killed Madison Bumgarner. His elbow's like ouchie now.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. I mean, Mad Bum.
Rip Mad Bum.
Maybe we got some more. We got a lot of people talking about Bellinger, Clint. We got Belly MVP.
I also wrote an article about Cody Bellinger. Just the reality that he was 0 for his first 11. Finally hit his first bomba today. First Cubby bomba.
What more can you say, man? Can you say something about Brusdar Graterol during today's show, maybe? That could help.
I have something on Vessia.
I mean, you see hits are up across Major League Baseball. Half of them are from Brusdar Graterol. But, like, I mean, you love the way the new rules are helping the game. It's funny how we just like to roast.
You got to roast a little bit here. Let's get into a few of the comments here. Some people talking about Anthony Rendon, and let's get into it. So this is officially now we're entering the week 1 takeaways. This is kind of week 1 of baseball for sure. And this is brought to you by the Dodgers Nation app. Hey, Dodgers Nation's app is back. It's better than ever. There's a new schedule feature. All of Doug's and mine and maybe a little bit of Noah's YouTube videos and contents are right there in the app. The podcast is on the app. It's the #1 Dodgers app in the Apple App Store. And that is not a lie because there are not that many Dodgers apps on there. So just search Dodgers right there. It's on the Android store. And all of your Dodgers things are there. And we're still working on it. If you guys have ideas you want added to the app, let us know. We will try to find a way. Gary will try to find a way to implement it. But check it out. Check out the Dodgers Nation app. And then we won't get murdered.
It's happening. Like the GIF. I like this comment, Clint.
That was a great read, Clint.
That was a great read. That's a professional.
That's a professional.
That's a professional. That is a trained
Does that
professional.
even go, hey,
that is someone that believes.
download this app.
That's somebody that believes in the product. Let's go,
known
baby.
to.
It's an app that will change your
believe
life
in
for
this
sure. We
product
got
right
Blue
here.
Heaven.
We got woohoo Dodgers Nation from Carnivorous Lunar Activity. I like this one too, just because it was a little clever. It says we're not grateful for Graterol. Interesting.
Yeah.
Bruised bad. That's from B. Guzman. A lot of people watch this show.
All right, so Rendon. Let's talk Rendon. You guys probably saw the clip. Lost his cool with the fan. Apparently called him a bitch, and he didn't like it. Where he made the mistake, thank you, is grabbing him by the shirt and trying to slap him around a little bit. Give me your thoughts I don't know. What do you think about this? Give me your thoughts on what you're thinking on it. It feels a little Charmin soft.
It was a little soft. And if you look at him, the fan going down, and he approached Anthony Rendon, he grabs him, and then he does that. He just kind of swipes at him. I think it's going to be one of a lot of swing and misses for Anthony Rendon this year. He wasn't able to connect on that. And I do think it was just a tad bit soft. And like I was telling you guys before the show started, you give me $245 million, you can yell whatever you want. Keep chirping. You can heckle. That is a part of the game. He definitely looked like he took that a little too sensitively, and I guarantee you, Clint, if he had lived up to this contract so far, if he was raking, if he was able to embrace this Hollywood lifestyle, I don't think he would be as sensitive. So, yeah, I definitely think it was a little soft. I think he got off pretty easy when it comes to the suspension that he received. I think I believe you told me before the show they already reduced it to 4 games after the appeal. I mean, what do you think about the suspension, Clint?
I mean, 5 games, it is what it is. You know, I remember a few years back in a very short season of baseball, Mr. Joe Kelly got an 8-game season out of 60 games for throwing a ball near a baseball player that's on the field and understands a ball could hit him. And there's some blood there, some bad blood. There's some antics going on in that. I guess where Tony Two Bags here, overstepped his boundaries, is trying to, lay contact upon the man's face with this little hand.
Little Tony Two Punches.
But I don't know. I mean, 5 is, I guess, fair. It's been reduced. He appealed. He immediately reduced it to 4, so it sounds like this was kind of a plan. I'm curious, do we know if he's speaking to media yet, or if the plan is? Because I know he's been a little soft about that, too. No word yet if he's going to speak to Angels media, but
all I know is that Chad Kruger would have pulled him out of the stands and choked the living hell out of him.
Oh, what a pull! That's a great pull.
Shout out to Chad Kruger. Remember that day? I'll never forget that.
It's a great day. It's a special day at Wrigley.
At Wrigley Field. But yeah, I think I'm a little surprised that Major League Baseball, when you consider the virality of everything and the fact that was all over TikTok, it was all over Instagram, and that he only got 4 games after the appeal, because you really kind of make contact with the fan. You definitely, from an optic standpoint, you want to nip that in the bud. But yeah, definitely screams soft. I think Anthony Rendon, he's going to be hearing a lot of boos all season long. And look, the reality is another hell of a signing.
Yeah, for real. Already knows how to pick him for sure. But yeah, he put a straight up target on his back for the rest of the season, because every ballpark, I mean, Anthony Rendon for a little while, he's going to be almost in that Correa Altuve stratosphere of being booed on the road. And that's just the reality of it. Fans don't forget.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, look at what Ron Artest got. Basically, it almost ended his career, the fact that he was suspended for the rest of the season. So, yeah.
Jordan on YouTube says Rendon got more games than any Astros cheaters. Great pull there. Great point.
That is a great
point.
They
didn't get a damn thing done to them. Poor Moneybags Jim Crane, who, by the way, I guess he brought championship rings for like a whole bunch of the stadium staff as well, which is kind of cool. Shout out to that rich dude. I guess when you save a bunch of money by firing most of your front office, he saved that James Click money or whatever their GM was.
No, but honestly,
you can buy rings for people. Ring it up.
Yeah, you can buy rings. But there's also a part of me that wants to defend Anthony Rendon, because, look, I would be pretty upset if I was Anthony Rendon, too. I'd be upset if I was playing for the Angels, right? And knowing that Shohei Ohtani is probably going to leave your team. So, yeah, from that standpoint, he definitely was a little upset. But I saw you just did the Caitlin Clark, right? Oh, no, you did the what's her name?
Bro, you guys just literally talking about her
both.
all day?
I did the Caitlin Clark and the Angel Reese.
Angel Reese. Yeah, what are your thoughts on the Angel?
Listen, he only knows Dodger content, man. He's in this for you people.
And James Outman football stats.
And James Outman high school football stats. He is here for it. The guy who unearthed Rocca, the legendary coffee-drinking rock that gives James Outman his power.
I owe my career to you, Rocca.
Yeah. If you guys want to watch...
The king of LA.
If you guys want to watch Sportsnet LA's content, you can watch it here first. Great comment in here by our boy Noise by Noel. Says, Clint, can you drop that skincare routine for me? It's called wash your face every couple of days.
I'll consider it.
Ling! Wait, push the button. Push the button. Thank you. That's beautiful right there.
Give my man some Neutrogena commercials.
Man 5 Dodge says 5 will be the shortest amount of games he's missed since he signed that contract. Great comment right there. Hey, you guys remember he didn't want to sign in LA?
And they were after him. We got Dodgers _ Chloe in Rocca We Trust. Yeah, Rocca's already paying off.
Everybody's a Rocca fan. Having a good time. Noah, he's dropping the comments in there. Says he said I let my emotions get the best of me. I don't know who he said it to though. Huh? Well, I mean, clearly he let his emotions get the best of him. Also, if you're just getting called a bitch, that's not really slap worthy. That's just my thought on it. I've been called worse. I've been called friend. Oh baby, you. Josh Gitt, friend of the show, says Rendon is about to have season-ending surgery for breaking his wrist grabbing the fan shirt. I love this timeline of Rendon being soft and fragile. Let's see. Get some more comments in here. DKM says, once a cheater, always a cheater. We are talking about them cheating Astros a little bit here and there. You already got the in Rocca we trust. Michael Krios and the fan will sue for $2 million. The fan hasn't even come forward about anything. I know the Oakland PD was saying it was they're investigating an assault or something like that, but I don't think it's going to go much beyond where it's at right now. So we'll move on from the Rendon. This is not Rendon Nation.
Chokeland.
This is Dodge Nation, Blue Haven Show podcast. Diane Schroeder's in the stream.
What's up,
Hi,
Diane?
Good to see you. No, yeah, things have been a little hectic around here. By the way, I just wanted to point it out. I forgot to bring it up during our Trayce Thompson discourse. How did he not win? How does that not get you Player of the Week?
Yeah,
I guess it doesn't help when you go 0 for 3 the next day.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it says a one-game flash in the pan. Maybe that's the only thing I could think of. He didn't follow it up with a great game at all. So
CJ Crone, by the way, Rockies, Dodgers facing him tonight. He's the one who got it. 2 doubles, 3 homers, 7 RBI. Pretty good. It's a pretty good week.
It's a nice numbers.
Solid week. 467 average leading into Monday's game. All right, let's talk a little bit about Max Muncy's struggles. I know we're going to get into it a little bit more. I feel bad for Max. You can see he's pressing. You can see game 1, he hit the hell out of the ball, hit it right at some dudes, and had some tough borderline calls go against him over the first 2 games. And I think that kind of led to him pressing, and then, getting hit in the nuts by a ball doesn't help. But any concern for you on Max?
Really not very much, because if you look at the exit velos, like you mentioned, the hard contact is there. I mean, the baseball gods weren't, the BABIP gods frowned upon him, especially during Friday night's game, because he was hitting rocket shots right to outfielders, right towards infielders. And look, the hard contact is there. You're not seeing him get overmatched by high velocity like he was during his struggles last season. And also, look, he starts the season 1 for 13. Really? This is Max Muncy. He has experienced the lowest of lows in Major League Baseball, from getting released by the A's, playing in the Mexican leagues, to working his way back and turning himself into an all-star. This is not going to phase Max Muncy. So if there's one player on this team that can get through a slow start, it is Maximus Muncy. But yeah, I mean, I think he was pretty much the consensus pick to be the bounce-back player for the Dodgers. And look, they need... he's got... It's
early, they say.
Just 4 games out of a 162-game season. But yeah, I think the big takeaway for me with Max Muncy is where he's batting in the lineup. And he's moved up there, and there's no question that Dave Roberts, he realizes the importance that he has in this lineup. And he needs to be a guy that can hit 25 to 35 bombs. Look, this team, the one we're going to talk about a little later, and their approach at the plate, from a personnel standpoint, they're not the Bronx Bombers. They are the Dodgers. Yeah. You don't see a lot of 40, 50 home run guys on this team, so they need Max Muncy to produce.
Yeah, and he had a great spring. OPS over 1,000. Amongst the dudes who had enough at bats that didn't take off to the WBC, he was the best player on the team in spring training. Yeah, spring training numbers or whatever, maybe they don't mean the same, but he just looks like a dude that, you go out, you have, what do we call in a 5 strikeout game?
So there's the Olympic ring game or the platinum sombrero.
All right, the internal here was the preference was Olympic ring game.
Yeah.
So you don't want that. I don't think we ever see that from Max again. But he looks like he just looked over the first couple of games like he's a dude who had the bad luck go against him and then really started to trying to create and force the issue, pressing, and he's swinging over some curveballs, again having some tough strikes called, borderline strikes called against him, and he's going to be fine. I'm not too worried about him. And one more shout out before we get out of the week 1 takeaways. Steven Nelson. You guys are going to hear him a lot on the broadcast. Steven Nelson, the kind of, the primary fill-in for Joe Davis when Joe's on the road. I like it, man. He did great.
I really like Steven Nelson. I think
Good dude. Nice heartwarming stories with a Bulldog as well.
Yeah, I think that's what was my biggest takeaway was that, yeah, I mean, most guys are trying to fill in Joe Davis's shoes for a couple of games, filling in here and there, but he really made it personal right out of the gates, and it really kind of showed some vulnerability, kind of knew a little bit of his backstory. You can tell that this means the world to him to have this opportunity with the Dodgers. He's from SoCal, so yeah, I think he did a great job, and I think that as we see Joe Davis get more and more opportunities, you see him doing the NFL, you see him having such a prominent role in Major League Baseball as the World Series guy replacing Joe Buck, we might be seeing more Steven Nelson throughout the year. So for the Dodgers, more than any other team in Major League Baseball, your backup, your secondary broadcaster has to be really good because Joe Davis, I mean, I was impressed, but how about Joe Davis doing the Yankee game and coming right back and doing that Sunday afternoon game?
Joe's first game seeing the Dodgers all year was on Thursday for opening day. Dipped immediately, came back, didn't miss a beat, locked in. Love that dude. Great dude. Got to have him back on the show. It's been a number of years since we've had him on. So, Joe, I know where you live. I know we got a super chat. What's going on, Cody? Let me know what's going on.
Let's go.
Shout out Joe Davis. Like Clint just said.
Joe Davis gave us a super chat?
No.
JD.
JD Martin. No, I'm just playing with you. Kevin Uhas, $5 said, start a Dodgers Nation Discord if you haven't already. Also, if Max gets to his spring level hitting, I love him at the cleanup spot.
Great ladder point. I mean, I don't think there aren't at the moment better options in that cleanup role for me. Max has done it. He's done it a lot. We know he can hit some bombas. He's still my pick to lead the team in bombas. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I had Mookie Betts, so I was very upset with that fan that should have caught it and had it gone as a home run. I got Mookie hitting 37 bombs this year. But, yeah, Max Muncy, I think right now when you look at how this lineup is constructed, the way they like to stagger the righty-lefty up in that lineup, yeah, it makes the most sense. Will in the 3-hole, Max hitting cleanup. But we'll see if James Outman continues to produce down that lineup and Max Muncy does struggle like he did last year, he might be a guy that you would consider moving up in the lineup, but we're still very early on. I mean, he's hit the Dodgers' first home run of this season. James, you can't get him out, man, but let's see if he continues to produce. Also, what is a Discord?
What? You know about Discord?
Is that only fans for podcasters?
No,
yeah,
it is.
no, just tell him, yeah, totally. It's
No,
a fans
it's
league,
not.
bro.
It's
You got to show a lot of ankle.
It's not. It's
There's
like
so
Is that
much
a
ankle.
Patreon?
no. It's like a
It's
server.
a Slack. It's
Yeah,
a
it's a
Slack.
Slack. Exactly.
Oh, okay.
It's a
Yeah,
Slack.
yeah.
It'd be cool, but
It's something we've considered.
it could be a thing. It could
I don't
definitely be a
know.
thing.
If people really want it, really just slam into Doug's DMs about it. Maybe we'll start it. The problem is, like, we're all like already so knee deep in this that we barely have our own personal time as it is. So
Yeah.
the idea of being on another chat and Doug's a talker, as you guys know. So he's gonna be in them chats talking about, Akeem Olajuwon's freaking debut game and how it was better than Isaiah Thomas's.
Have you ever been in a group chat where in my group chats, if I do a paragraphs, a bunch of novels, a bunch of senior theses, and I don't get any responses, I start calling each of the people in the group chat
and reciting the novel that you wrote
saying
out.
what's up. Yeah, reading out
Short
loud.
version. We'll think about it. Honestly, I think we can think about it this year. It's something because we've also in the past considered starting Patreons, and let's be real, the only way I think we can start a Discord and make it fly with the brass up top is if we can monetize it a little bit. So we'll give it some consideration. But appreciate the super chat and the comment, the fine two-part comment there from Kevin. What do you got? You got more?
No, there was actually a good carnivorous lunar activity said at
Legend.
Dodger Nation. I like the black background. You guys need lights like the stadium, which I kind of agree with. With the black background, it'd be kind of cool when it like flickers and
go
stuff
up
like
and
that.
down.
Every time we get a
there's good
super
take
chat,
or a super chat,
boo, 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 that'd be kind of cool.
prediction goes right.
That would be kind of cool.
We get the air raid
Put
siren.
it on the wish list for next
That'd
week,
be
guys.
pretty cool.
Man,
we are
those.
going to be changing some things up a little bit here. We've seen the comments a lot over the last few weeks and months. People calling us in a broom closet. People being real rude. We put a lot of work into this place. We're gonna change. We're gonna change some things up. There might be a little bit more familiar feel to it, but we'll try to figure out a way. I mean, we got these lights back here that we could do something with. But
That'd be cool. I do like the new lights at the stadium, like the.
the seizure lights, as I call them.
Yeah.
What was that sound?
That's how lights. You don't know how lights make sound? Bro's not even on a Discord. That's why.
Yeah,
Jeez, I'm missing out.
Somebody said Doug in a Discord would be fun. I totally agree. Doug would literally, guys.
Like, yeah, if I was a fan of Doug, which I'm not, if I was a fan of Doug,
guys, you guys do not realize Doug won't sleep. He won't be able to do anything because he'll be on the Discord the entire time talking.
Yeah.
All you guys need to do is say one thing about UCLA basketball, and he will go on for days. So don't.
Or football or baseball or women, whatever it is.
Anything that takes him away from his family,
Yeah.
he is game for. Serious drama on YouTube. Max is bad. He's been bad for more than a minute. Last season, he 1,000% will admit it was not a good season. If you didn't watch it already, I highly recommend to everybody in this on this stream right now or listening to us, go back, find Doug's interview with Max Muncy from the offseason. It's on our YouTube channel. Subscribe while you're there, youtube.com/DodgersNationTV. Hit the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, all that stuff on everything you watch of ours. But Doug did a really good chat with Max, who he opened up about that struggle season of his last year and finally admitting, like, hey, things were not right coming off of that elbow injury and how much that set everything back, dealing with the lockout, trying to get through that. So really good stuff. And it's going to make you kind of be okay with Max Muncy. Not just because you like him, but because you believe in the product.
Yeah, and I also want to point out, too, that Max Muncy, last month of the season, he really did turn things around. If you look at his numbers, they really trended in the right direction. Also, in the postseason against the Padres, he had a 944 OPS, had a home run and a double. So, yeah, Max Muncy, a lot of it had to do with injury. He also made the adjustment with the step back. So, yeah, give Max a chance, guys. This is a very small sample size. And like I said, it's all uphill from here. He's seeing the ball a lot better. You can always count on him getting on base via the walk. So, yeah, Muncy is going to be just fine. Also made some pretty nice defensive plays, too.
Yeah, except for the one he took off a sack.
Yeah, exactly. He got it off and forced him to miss a game.
Respectfully. Prayers up to the Muncy.
He got hit
twins.
in the Muncies.
Got some love in here for DKM, says Steven Nelson. Oh, wait. No, I think it's a different Nelson. Diane Schroeder says Steven Nelson is solid. So that's some love there for I think we're working on getting some time with Steven Nelson. We'll get him in either in here or on a Zoom or something like that.
Steven, I know you're listening. Come on the show, buddy.
Come on.
Roll through.
Steven.
Call Jose Mota. Right
Love
now.
your work.
We'll call Jose Mota.
On,
we
man.
got J Mota.
James Reacts tuned in a little late, asking how did I feel about Trayce? I talked about that already. Love it. I think it's an aberration. I don't think he's going to be DFA'd before the end of April. I just don't know how much better he's going to be than his 3 home runs and 3 hits at the moment. Charles, this team don't feel like champions. Interesting. Perfect time to jump off. Let's talk about first 2 things we love and 1 thing we hate. One thing to love, starting rotation. Very good. You got the numbers. You stole the numbers just like everybody else did you steal them by just finding them and then writing them in a certain order. But leading into or coming out of Sunday's game, so the first 4 starters, very good. 4 earned runs total, over 25 innings. How many punch outs again? 30?
25.
25
25
punchies.
to 1 walk.
Yeah.
That's
they're looking pretty damn fresh. Noah and I talked last week. It's funny, after the Ryan Pepio news. It's like the one area the last couple of weeks we haven't really been complaining about or concerned about with the team had been the starting rotation. It's like, no, this is going to be fine. This is going to be the strong point. There's actually depth there. Depth immediately gets challenged with Gonsolin getting hurt and then Pepio getting hurt. But you hope Grover is able to put up a good start tonight. You guys listening after the game will know what happened, but first 4 starts, very good. Syndergaard did what he was supposed to do. Clayton Kershaw. How can you not love Clayton Kershaw?
Yeah, Clayton Kershaw, he just continues like baseball's version of fine wine. He just continues to get better with age. And if you look at Kershaw, 6 innings of 1-run ball. Also a player we grew up seeing, Mike Mussina. He passed the Moose on the all-time strikeout list.
23rd all-time.
23rd all-time. He now has 2,816 strikeouts. He could pass up Jim Bunning, Zach Greinke this year. Mickey Lolich was his name for the pitch in the 70s. So yeah, he's climbing up the rankings when it comes to all-time strikeouts. But I think he was very impressive. I think with Clayton Kershaw going out there, you saw him throw that curveball early in his start. When he's doing that, and it's nasty.
Nasty
You know he's
curve.
feeling good. You know he's feeling healthy, and he just continues to use the formula that works, and that is throwing strikes. That is pristine command, and I was very, very impressed with his outing.
6 innings, 9 Ks, no walks. Could have gone 7. Could have gone 8. You know, when you look at you know, all the hoopla that, you know, over the years have surrounded a guy he faced that day, Madison Bumgarner, and all of the this is the ace, this is one of the best pitchers of all time, and all that kind of stuff. Jacob deGrom, same thing. It's like these are two dudes that have either been one bad or the other one unable to be on the field. Clayton Kershaw just keeps on going. Yeah, he had 19, 20, maybe not the best 21, you know, obviously 21 got a little you guys say it a lot in here. I'm just saying a little bit, but 22, 23 have been elite. They have been vintage Kershaw seasons, and this is the dude that looks like he can pitch until he's just very much done with it.
Yeah, and no, there's when you looked at Kershaw and his start, you really what I looked at is the contract, and you're talking about a $15 million deal with a $5 million
original content, tweets by the way.
A 55 minute. You guys know I've been riding with this take for over a year now.
I know. I'm just bullying Noah.
I just think it's really. I look at Max Scherzer. I look at Justin Verlander, other pitchers that are supposed to be in the conversation with the pitcher of this generation. And yes, the velo has dropped. He's not the same guy that he was during the peak of his powers. But to me, the fact that he's reinvented himself and he still goes out there, he posts, he gives you quality each and every time he's out there on the mound. I think that Dodger fans really don't appreciate the value that you're getting. Clayton Kershaw could have easily signed a $70, $80, $90 million deal with the Texas Rangers. I mean, that really, I think, is a base level when you consider what he brings as far as a box office appeal, as far as an attraction. He could have gotten big money out there. Instead, he's going year to year. Why does he go year to year? Because Clayton Kershaw is incredible at the fact that he doesn't want to gouge franchises for money. He wants to get what he's worth, and I think that puts him in a great spot on the mound from the pressure standpoint, where he's not worried about delivering to an organization multiple years. He's going game to game at this point. He's so relaxed. He's so free. You can see him absolutely enjoying every single part of the process of being a pitcher, and also, too, I think if he wanted to be, he'd be a hell of a broadcaster. I don't know if you heard him during the game with Oral and Joe.
Just about every year,
yeah,
they do that. Joe's like, when are you getting in the broadcast booth?
I'm telling you, he's got the voice. I mean, I think he'd be fantastic. But I think too, my big takeaways from the starting rotation is Julio Urias. Now, if you look at all the projections out there, they don't love him as far as they think he's going to regress this season. But what they didn't see is him bringing that cutter. And that cutter that he threw, it was very interesting. Threw 79 pitches, 9 were cutters, all against righties, 86 miles per hour. It accounted for 2 of his 6 strikeouts. And you saw him just induce that soft contact all game long. Once he really started to settle down, that's just a nice, harder slider. So the fact that he's getting better and he realizes, hey, I need another pitch. I need to continue.
I mean, that's an old pitch.
It's
he brought it back. He hasn't thrown it in about 3 years, and
it's harder though. You know, it's a little harder, and you see the break and the depth of it. So that to me was a big takeaway. Also, Dustin May, 7 scoreless. That's the longest he's gone in a game. Dustin Mania is here. Shout out to RotoWare. Hook it up with my residuals. I know you guys make a bank off that T-shirt. At least give me a T-shirt
for the name he invented. He coined.
Dustin Mania is here, baby.
You went to the damn workshop. Put in time on that name.
Lots of time. But I think that I really do absolutely believe that changes the entire outlook of this starting rotation. It raises the floor at such a level, not just because he was more efficient and the fact that he was going deep into that game. It's the fact that he brings a dynamic that none of these other starters bring. Clayton Kershaw, he's not going to pump gas past you at this stage of his career. Julio Urias, he's not going to blow past guys and throw 97, 98 miles per hour. So he gives you that stuff that's going to play up in the postseason with the velocity. Also, another thing I noticed too is he really benefited, I think, from the pitch clock. I think he's a guy that's very cerebral. He thinks out there, but it kept him going. And when you see Dustin May, the Red Nightmare, as Jay Hare calls him, the Red Nightmare, when you see him on the mound just coming at you and just pumping gas past you every single pitch, I think that works in his favor. So I think when you talk about this pitch clock, I think he's one of the guys that really benefited from it.
Yeah, 3 of the 4 dudes we've seen are 100% pitch clock guys that can game it, that can use it to their advantage, to the best of their ability of what the pitch clock allows right now. I'm sure it's going to change at some point, but
and also too, you talked about Trayce Thompson as you're kind of owning up that a little bit. I'll own up to Noah Syndergaard, because my big disappointment, I said, was that Dodger fans are going to be disappointed that he's not going to throw 99, 100 miles per hour anymore. He's not going to be an ace level pitcher, but hey, so far after one start, he was most impressive. The efficiency, the command. I think
number 4 starter.
A number 4 starter.
That's what you want.
I mean, Thor was hammering the zone, and that was what was so important. You saw the changeup, and I think he's going to benefit from this Dodgers pitching more than anyone. And really, if I'm a pitcher out there that wants to get his career back on track, I'm coming to the Los Angeles Dodgers. They're going to be saving money for that from years to come. But yeah, I mean, he was getting ahead in counts and have 1 3-ball count. He was getting strikeouts when he needed to. Lots of quick, efficient 1, 2, 3 innings. So yeah, I think towards the end got a little fatigue. You saw the command was a little off. I think they pulled him at the right time. But this team legitimately 1 through 4 has a really nice starting rotation. And then if Tony Gonsolin comes back and he can look anything like the All-Star he was before the injury, and then you still got Pepe, you still got Stone, you still have Bobby Miller potentially. I think the rotation really is in a much better place than a lot of people thought they were going to be in.
Yeah, for sure. Let's get into a few of the comments here. Matty Man 5 Dodge says the starters have been very good so far. Undersell. Mike Creo, Robert's bad as usual. Diane says Thor was amazing yesterday. DKM asking how good will Grove do? Not as good as the first 4. I think he'll do just fine, but he's gonna manage. And honestly, the bullpen needs to kind of get in some more work right now, so we learn more about what we're getting. Dodgers Chloe says, I think that Kershaw is going to stay a GOAT until the end of his career. We got a Kersh with a fire emoji from Miguel. I don't know. What is a white pill? Is that a drug thing?
Some people call the baseball a white pill. I don't know if it was that.
Well, I think it's some love there from Matty Man Dodge. And I know what you got for me. What you got for me, Cody?
We got another super chat. Kevin Uhas again, $5. He said Kershaw 4th for Cy Young and has 214 strikeouts this year. I think that's he said.
Strikeout? No, well he's at 198 wins.
He said SL.
Now.
I'm assuming that means strikeouts, right?
Oh yeah.
He says
214 strikeouts for Kersh would be pretty insane. Yeah, we're talking about a guy that's K'd 300 in a season before in his career. That a long time ago. Like, to get 214, he's got to make 30 starts, and I don't think that's going to happen. But I like the enthusiasm. Kevin, appreciate you dropping back in.
202 punch-outs in 2017. So I think if you saw that strikeout number, what you would also see is a healthy Kershaw season. So that would be the most important thing about that. So, yeah, that'd be great. I would love for that to happen.
You got any other comments you want to get into? You want to move into our next, what are we on? Good things that we still liked.
Well, Matty Man says Black Pill equals CT3, but I guess we'll just move on. Yeah,
he's a friend of the show.
Yeah.
Let's get into Carnivorous Lunar Activity says F the pitch clock. It's going to ruin October baseball. So I agree with the first part. Wait, I disagree with the first part, but I agree with the second part. I think it's very tough for baseball because that is the next thing we had. Hey, we kind of love the pitch clock, and I think we're in a unique situation as Dodger fans because we also, talk about the team for money to survive. This is our job, not just this. This is for fun. They say pitch clock. It's solid. You were there for game 1. It's an opening day that was under 2.5 hours. That's impressive.
No, I mean, I think the thing that really stood out to me was
just over 2.5 hours.
Just over 2.5 hours. If you're looking at the early returns, it's about 2 hours and 38 minutes for the time of game. The first thing I want to say is, I don't know if you guys realize this, but there was a time when baseball was the #1 most popular sport in America. And during that time, the golden age of baseball, this is how long games were played. You saw 2.5 hour games. It was normal. And it's not, you're not getting less baseball. You're getting less dead time. You're getting less time in between the game. Now, for me, as far as the fan experience, I think it's really a two-pronged answer. I think the fan experience is something different because what people are complaining about is you go get a beer, you go get a Dodger dog, and you come back and it's the 5th inning. And before you blink, it's already the 6th or 7th inning. So I kind of understand that element, but I think what needs to happen is, you just got to see the concession guys going. If you're going to get a beer, they need a different system where people are, if you go to crypto now, I mean, pretty much no matter where you sit, there's people where you can order from your seat. That really needs to be the norm. Are people getting there early enough to try to really get there and and get their food, get all the concessions, get everything they need. And really, it's just going to be an adjustment for fans. I know that a lot of people like to go to baseball games and have the baseball game be secondary. They talk to their friends, this and that.
For some, it's definitely a social experience. For the rest of us, it's about the game. It's about being there and watching the story be unfold. And you don't want to see a poorly written chapter of a story being forced by some sort of clock. Again, I say that as somebody who likes the pitch clock, but there's going to be times where it's like very much not a distraction, but it's a detriment to the game.
In what way?
Late in game, situation important. I mean, the obvious one is a dude striking out or a batter walking on an infraction because that's weak. But some of the best moments, like Bryce Harper's, big time home run in the NLCS last year, it wouldn't have happened. That would have been a strike. It would have been a ball game at that point. Letting it breathe, letting the crescendo kind of do its thing.
Yeah, I think there's something to that. I agree with you on that point. That
storytelling is about the dead air from time to time. There is
Kirk
something
Gibson
to
could
it.
After the show today, I'm gonna actually go back and I'm actually gonna time how long it took in between pitches for Kirk Gibson's walk off because he was limping. He needed a lot of time in between pitches. But I also think too, you're probably gonna be able to get moments that you may not have gotten in the past because pitchers could be fatigued, and when they're fatigued, they're gonna leave some fastballs over the heart of the plate, and you could get hits because of it. So I think it's tough to say. I mean, I think for me, the fan experience. Baseball needs to figure out how to get fans what they need as far as a food standpoint, beer standpoint, because, you want fans in the stands. But I noticed just from firsthand knowledge that fans were more locked in. It was a conscious effort to be in your seat. I didn't see fans on their phones as much. And to me, I go to a game, I'm laser focused on each and every pitch. I don't care about my friends or family.
You don't care about your friends and family in real life.
The hell, Doug? You don't care about us?
No, talking about you. Talking with you at a game. I want to see the action on the. I'm a little flustered. But on the field, I care about you. But my point is that baseball is going to be about baseball once again. The reality is this is going to attract more fans. And I think more people, this thing too, Clint, with the lights, I feel like this is the perfect year that they had the lights because it really does feel like an entertainment spectacle. And I think that baseball fans... They're gonna leave. They're gonna want to leave. They're gonna leave wanting more, and you're gonna want to go to another game because you're like, oh wow, like I want to bottle that experience.
And you can't afford it because games are still expensive. They're taking away game time at least.
Beer manufacturers are shaking their boots.
They need to bring back a bunch of people working the aisles because that's gone. That hasn't been a thing. But anyways, it's a nuanced topic for sure and we've already talked a lot about it for sure. And I'm getting the move it along fingering here from Cody, but fans love it so far. 50.5% of fans who voted in a poll on our Dodgers Nation Twitter say they love it. 31% say they need more time to figure out their take on it. So only 18.5% not a fan. So overwhelmingly, it's done well, and we haven't had a 3-hour game yet. That's nice, and again, very nice for people like us who have to cover this team, have to cover the sport day in, day out. Some of us around here, multiple sports, multiple teams. It's nice to be able to do that, and also maybe have the game done before 10 p.m. so you guys can tune in to a DN postgame show and not be up until midnight or 3 a.m. on New York time like Cody was.
Yeah, no, exactly. Anything you're missing, anytime you're missing from the game, you can make that up by tuning into the Dodgers Nation post-game show right after the games. Ging. Yeah.
You
got something for me? I think you guys.
Yes. We have another super chat. I'm telling you, if we do that with the lights, I'm just saying. Matty Man 5 Dodge said for $20 said you guys are white pills. What I don't know what the white pills thing is.
I know a little yellow pill that's mother's little helper. Gets her through the day.
I don't know.
These kids don't know the Rolling Stones.
Wow.
Back in the day, doctors used to give people methamphetamines in a pill form to get them through the day. Or it was technically called like a what was that? Those were called like it was a weight loss thing. Anyways.
Oh.
Urban Dictionary right now, and it says
what do we got?
A white pill means being aware of a difficult situation or position and having a fighting can-do attitude.
All right, we are very white. Let's
Fighters,
go, white
baby.
Hell yeah. We're all white pills in here. Appreciate the love, Matty Man 5, and appreciate the $20. That's going to go a long way towards Doug's polo fund.
There we go. You can always use more Coach
Big time
Polos,
polo guy over here.
Shout out Ralph Lauren.
Great comment poll, by the way, from Noah over here. I don't care about my friends or family. I'm back. Put
that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, Dodgers Chloe clarifies it very tightly. White pill means optimist.
The ever optimist Michelada half full.
Yeah, I mean, Doug is the eternal optimist for sure. All right, the thing we don't like. Sorry, this show's going on long. We know a lot of you appreciate it when it goes on long, but you know what? The boom or bust approach on offense. I know this is the big thing. This is the big ticket item we have for the show today, where we get to complain about some more stuff because we love complaining. But the bad thing, the thing we hate, it's the offense. Like you said, like you've put it, it looks a lot of the same that we've seen over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think that to me is one of my big takeaways is it's a lot of high highs and a lot of low lows with Dodger baseball. And I think a lot of fans out there, the first thing I looked at after the game was, what was their record in one-run games last season? It was 16-15, and yet they still won 111 games. So to me, it looks like this organization is content to have the same approach and to try to win with slug. And when you outslug your opponent, you win that game by over an 80% margin. So yes, that does indicate that slugging and swinging for the fences does lead to wins, but things change in the postseason. And last year, we saw the Dodgers go 5 for 34 in the NLDS, and a lot of that had to do with their inability to put the bat on the ball, their inability to just play small ball. And I thought yesterday, if you look at this lineup, this isn't a lineup that is filled with Aaron Judges and Giancarlo Stantons and these big boppers. I think that what they want to do, the approach they're going to have in the postseason, they should be practicing it now, because those habits, the identity of your team is formed throughout the season. And to me, the Dodgers offense, they're like Las Vegas. You're a big Vegas guy? I'm a big Vegas guy. I love Vegas,
so
but Vegas to me, you have some of the best nights of your life and some of the worst nights of your life. You go there, you win big, you win a lot of money, you're partying, it's good times. That's when the Dodgers are hitting that. And then the bad nights, you lose all your money and they come foreclose your house, right? That to me is this Dodgers offense. I mean, and also too, 11 of their last 12 runs for the Dodgers have come via the long ball. You saw them struggle with runners in scoring position. You saw them struggle with them getting their bat on the ball, and they're being a little too home run reliant early on in the season. And I'm a little worried too about the bottom of that lineup. I mean, yes, every single batter yesterday, not named Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and Will Smith, combined to go 0 for 21. Those three, they went 4 for 10. But from an approach standpoint, we need to see some more from the bottom half of that lineup.
Yeah, I mean, we were hoping for a little bit. It's very small sample size, very early. We know this. But, you know, we were talking about it before the show. You know, here it is again with Dodgers having their, I don't know if the right way of explaining it is the fool's gold in run differential, because they're right there near the top of the league, definitely near the top in the National League. They scored 20 runs. 18 of those have come in 2 games, and 5 of those, 18, all of those, I guess, are from well, not all of them, but you have 8 of those from Trayce, and one of them is 4 games from or 4 runs in 1 game from Will Smith. You got to spread out. You got to share the wealth a little bit more, and we're not seeing that too much yet. I mean, guys like Miguel Vargas, he's doing his job. He's walking. He's getting on base. Absolute on base machine. You know, JD's kind of peppering some things in there. Outman's kind of peppering some things in there, but we're not seeing the keep the line moving approach. We're not seeing them string enough together very early. And this is a team. I wrote about it today somewhere. This is a team that didn't play a whole lot of games together during spring training, and that's where you build that chemistry, and that's where you kind of figure yourselves out. So World Baseball Classic was fun, but we might be seeing a little bit of the fallout for this, or maybe we're just, creating.
I just think that, look at the losses. 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position, 8 men left on base on Friday. Yesterday, 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position with 12 men left on base. In the wins, they go 8 for 17. So the formula is getting the bat on the ball, but a lot of those runners in scoring position success that they had was via the home run ball. So I just think, too, on top of that, when you look at the restriction on the shift, there is more emphasis. There is more of a premium to prioritize putting the ball in play. And I think that this team is going to learn the hard way if they keep the same approach that they did last season, because we saw cold spells are inevitable, and I think this team needs some. I think we're going to see from a roster construction standpoint, I think Miguel Rojas, he had those 2 hits the first game, he had the double, but the bottom of that lineup just has not been producing. You did mention Miguel Vargas. I mean, like I've been saying, you guys have been hearing me say that he does have this uncanny ability to just have the pitch recognition and take those walks. I mean, he's been fantastic. I think James Albin, the early success he's had, but you just need to be able to turn that lineup around. You can't rely on your top 3.
I'm gonna get some crap for it because of Trayce's big game, but I don't think you can have Trayce Thompson and CT3 in the same lineup together right now in the grand scheme of things, because, after April Fool's Day, when reality was reality again, Trayce went 0 for 3. We're not seeing anything that's exceptionally overly promising with CT3, and I'll openly admit I don't even know if he has a hit. I think he has a hit this year, but it's just still, you're not seeing anything exceptionally promising with CT3 right now. So to have those 2 guys in there, you're a little concerned right there as you get lower into the lineup. JD Martinez, admitted slow starter. I guess we're kind of getting into our next greater topic, so we'll pause for a second. Let's get some comments in here, and then we'll get into the bigger concerns about things. But Noah says Dodgers get a non-home run base hit with runners in scoring position challenge. Impossible, and I agree with that. Michael Carrillo wants to move Miguel Rojas out of the 9 spot, and it's a possibility. It's definitely something we could see happen sooner rather than later. I think Dave's going to kind of let this eat for a little while. We'll sort of figure that one out. Matty Man 5 Dodge says we've been worried about that bottom. Worried about your own bottom, sir. Now, since Lux went down and it's happening, might have to shake things up. At some point, there's a chance maybe we do see something happen, but I don't think so anytime immediately. And that fool Neil Casamoto says run differential is skewed because they have so many blowout games, and that's something we've been talking about.
Yeah, we were talking about
it
before the show. You really can't read too much into that. Also, David Peralta, he was 3 for 10 so far, got a hit off a lefty. I think they're gonna need some production out of him. But yeah, to me, this lineup right now, the meme where it's the horse and the front of the horse is really well drawn and the back of it looks like it was drawn by like a kindergartner. Yeah. That's kind of how this offense looks right now.
What you know about facts?
But I do think, though, the promise to me, I think the big concern, though, if you look at this lineup, is you're not really saying, oh, maybe Jason Hayward can be that guy, maybe Trayce, or maybe Chris Taylor can be that guy. You're saying, well, can the rookie step up? And that, to me, is almost a red flag when you're relying so heavily on those rookies. But, yeah, give Miguel Vargas a lot of love. He's reached base 10 times in 13 plate appearances, and he just needs to continue.
Mash that heart button.
And I think, too, like when I was talking about that different element, putting the bat on the ball, finding grass, I mean, he's a guy that has that skill set where he's not always swinging for the fences. I think Freddie Freeman, I would wish all these players could watch Freddie Freeman's approach. He was trying to get guys across, trying to put the ball in play. But, yeah, if you look at this lineup, I mean, there are some concerns. I mean, you need JD Martinez to really step up, Max Muncy. And you talk about the 9-hole, Miguel Rojas. I like that take. I think that's an interesting take.
It's something that very much can happen. And we saw a lot of success with this Dodgers lineup last year when Lux was batting 9th and getting on. It's two-way street with it, but you got to have more production in that I guess we could say 6, 7, 8. So again, it's a big topic. It is the big topic of the show. It's what's the bigger concern to us in the early part of the season for the Dodgers? Is it the offense? Is it the bullpen? We're going to talk about that, but first, a commercial. Are you a diehard Dodgers fan looking for in-depth analysis and coverage of your favorite team? Look no further. Our team of experts provides game recaps, player profiles, interviews, in-depth statistical analysis you're not going to find anywhere else. Don't miss a single play. Don't miss anything about your team. Follow us now, DodgersNation.com.
Hey, shout out to Cody for that commercial there.
Hey. We need to be on. Are we unmuted? Feels like we're unmuted. I can't hear myself. There's no snare in my headphones. But, guys, you heard what I said. Go do the thing. Go to DodgersNation.com. We have a newsletter that goes out every day. We make it easier for you. Guess what? You can read our stuff while you're on the toilet at work. And that's really the best way to read me and Noah is on the toilet, to be honest. What you know about facts?
Yeah, because they're the shit.
He said a bad word.
This kid's watching this show.
I know about tap that ass on it.
I knew it. It's coming.
Guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Let's keep going. Let's get into it. The bigger concern, offense or bullpen. What is your bigger concern right now?
I think in the grand scheme of things, I think the bullpen definitely needs some work. I think the bullpen early on, you're seeing that the starting pitching is getting the job done, but without a clearly defined closer, with guys like Alex Vesia, I think Brusdar Graterol, they're adjusting to the pitch clock. Brusdar Graterol did not look comfortable yesterday.
He was fooling nobody. My dead mom could have got a hit off of him.
Wow.
Anybody? No, that was
darkness. But yeah, I mean,
I love her.
The thing that
comes
really
back
stood
one day.
out from, and yeah, so to answer your question, I think this lineup, they're going to be okay. I think you still have, when you still have Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, and Will Smith, and we know James Outman, he's had success early on, scored the team's first run, hit their first home run, and Miguel Vargas, I still feel good about them. The bullpen, though, to me, bullpen pieces, they have to prove themselves each and every year. And until they do, the jury's always going to be out. And I think Alex Vesia, that's your high leverage guy. And he's had bad slumps in the past, only to be lights out for the rest of the way. He needs to figure things out. Now, Brusdar Graterol, for years now, I've always had been a little ho-hum about him. I haven't been as bullish or brazen on his success, and one of the big reasons why is he's, to me, is one of those guys. He's like the NFL Combine, the guy who runs the 4.2 40, but Combine speed isn't football speed, right? And that's how I look at his fastball. His fastball doesn't play up. And also, you look at yesterday, he didn't throw one slider. He needs that pitch. But he threw it 19% of the time last year. I mean, he needs it to keep guys off balance. Otherwise, you're going to put the ball in play. And what I've been saying, too, is that with the new rules on the restriction of the shift, with the BABIP numbers that they were on the right side of for so many years, this is a bullpen that's never really been a big miss-bad bullpen. And when you put the ball in play, every now and then you're going to run into trouble. Yesterday, Brusdar gives up those 4 hits. He's always struggled against lefties. Lefties are hitting 294 against him with an 847 OPS. That hit from Marte wasn't even the worst pitch. But yeah, until I see these bullpen pieces really reestablish themselves, I believe in Evan Phillips. I think that Daniel Hudson's going to come back and have success. Yeah. But I do think that every single year we see Andrew Freeman go out there and get a Chris Martin, or also we're going to see one of these swingman types. I mean, will Ryan Pepe will be that guy? Will Gavin Stone be that guy? But they're definitely going to have to bolster this bullpen at some point.
Yeah, I mean, got to know what you're going to get out of Phil Bickford type this year or whatever. There's a lot of question marks with. I'd say there's more question marks in the bullpen, and there's more concern in the bullpen, as we've talked about the last couple of weeks with the thinness of the depth. I think the bones are there to have a good roster. Just going to take time. I think the roster it's more of a time thing. Bullpen for me. 2.45 ERA. It's only 4 games, 11 innings pitched out of the bullpen. The scary number for me, only 4 strikeouts. That's dead last in Major League Baseball. And it's a reasonable amount of innings. It's still like middle of the pack, slightly above middle of the pack. We're talking like top 10 in innings. Very small sample size, but 4 strikeouts. That's pretty concerning. I mean, they got their double plays. That's helped, particularly Phillips and Caleb Ferguson. But I don't know. That's a problem. And I've been kind of high key, very concerned about Alex Vesia this season. There's just something I think that with the pitch clock, the velo hasn't exactly been up in the Vesia range. I don't. It's a back of my soul kind of concern about that, but
no, I think you're on the money with that. I think he's a very high variance pitcher. Him and Ferguson. Ferguson was shaky yesterday. He benefited from another 4.63 double play, but his
Mookie?
Command was great job, Mookie, in position. But yeah, I think if you look at Alex Vesia, he's a guy that we've talked about on the show. It was going to be a big adjustment as far as adjusting to the pitch clock, but also too his fastball plays up. And a lot of that has to do with the spin, with the fact that he's working it at top of the zone. And he wasn't locating at the top of the zone. Yeah. And when he doesn't do that, he's not missing bats. But I also think, too, Brusdar Graterol shouldn't be pitching in the 9th inning. I mean, if you looked at yesterday's game, we all picked, I think you and I both said that with Hudson out, who was going to get the most saves? We both said Evan Phillips. Yeah. Yes, Evan Phillips is your highest leverage reliever. He is your fireman. When you look at how that was, you bring him in the 8th to face the bottom of the lineup, and then Brusdar Graterol to close things out to face the top of the lineup. I just didn't like that choice by Dave Roberts there. And I think Brusdar Graterol, until you know that he has an out pitch, a secondary pitch to keep hitters off balance that you can trust in, I just don't want to see him out there in a one-run game in the 9th inning. I think they really set him up for failure. I think he looked very uncomfortable there. He's a really good athlete, too. That's a play that really he should and could have made there at the end. Yeah. It was a great drag bunt there by McCarthy, so tip your cap to him. But, yeah, I think you're one of guys that can miss bats, and that is what we saw. That's why I was so high on Tommy Kahnle last year when he came back, because
Tominator.
You guys roast me for that nickname. I still don't appreciate that, guys.
It's a terrible nickname. It's really
terrible
bad. You're great at nicknames. That was the worst one you've ever come up in your lifetime.
I appreciate that.
I appreciate that. This guy.
But yeah, I think too. I mean, you talk about Alex Vesia, and you look at how thin they are with lefties too. I mean, who do you really trust out there? I mean, Vesia, I think Vesia is going to probably have some struggles until he truly adjusts to that pitch clock and really gets into rhythm. But I do think he's going to string off a long stretch where he's dominant. Ferguson is a guy stuff-wise, I think, when he's landing pitches and he's got the feel for the breaking stuff and he's also touching the top of the zone, he can be dependable. But yeah, I think it's going to be a challenge for Dave Roberts to push the right buttons when he doesn't have that guy that he can say, oh, this is going to be my guy for the 9th. But Brusdar yesterday had me wondering, where was Craig Kimbrell? I mean,
bruh. Another note, you mentioned Dave Roberts. We're talking about a guy that usually does not make great, consistently quality bullpen decisions on his own. Now, if he has guys that aren't going to get the job done more often than not, or you don't really know anybody's role, it just leads to more potential for concern. So, hey, guys, you might be getting closer to us just eventually crapping on Dave Roberts for a while. Well, we're always happy to speak down or speak ill of Dave when there's actually something to talk about. But Dave he hasn't done anything exceptionally wrong in his job in quite some time.
Yeah, I think he benefits from a push button bullpen.
It was not his fault in the playoffs last year. I mean, maybe
and ultimately yesterday's loss.
Maybe that pitching decision in the huh?
I think. I think Tyler Anderson could have stayed in the game longer. I think too.
I was thinking
you go to Tommy Kahnle on the second night back to back.
Who the hell gave up the hit to Cronenworth? Was it
Yency Almonte came in?
Oh yeah, that's right, Yency. In that situation, I don't know why completely forgot about the existence of Yency.
Yeah,
like Yency in that situation, he'd barely pitched since coming back from the injury. I'm like, maybe not there.
Yeah, no, Yency is a guy that misses bats, and Yency is a guy that
he also
can get guys to
the
chase.
Season.
Yeah, no, he does. He has been injury prone for sure. So yeah, that's the thing. They're guys that either they're reclamation projects that they've figured out that they've really hit big on, or there's a young up and coming guys that have emerged. But you don't have those true stalwarts. You don't have prime Kenley Jansen. You don't have guys that you can truly trust in those spots. So yeah, it's going to be a challenge.
Eric Gagne was there on opening day. What's he doing?
Give
these
him
days?
A ball. Yeah, exactly.
He can still hump it up there at like 84, and he's got the change. You don't forget that Vulcan change. I mean, unless you do. By the way, I think we missed a super chat from. Did you get Diane?
No, I was just waiting for the right time.
Oh, thank you.
I didn't want to interrupt the flow.
Well, Diane appreciates that, I'm assuming. But we got a super chat.
Yeah, buddy.
No, wait, no. Instead, I'm gonna do the.
Anyways, Dodgers Nation Hall of Famer Diane Schroeder for $10 said, "I'm still waiting for that DN meetup."
Oh,
should we do like a meetup at a ball game? I guess we got to talk to Gary about this.
Talk
ball game.
Take me out to the.
What you know? What we'll circle something in August, post trade deadline, post All-Star game. Let's try to get something at Dodger Stadium with some folks. Do it right.
I say we do it.
Do it live.
Do it.
Bring that YOLO box.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Live stream from Dodger Stadium. It's going on.
We just stream the game. Just kidding. YouTube, please. We're just kidding.
Rob, we're just kidding.
We're not doing anything.
But appreciate the super chats today, guys. That makes us feel all tingly on the inside. So I don't know if we got to a solution or a resolution here. What is your bigger concern? Is it offense or bullpen?
I think it is bullpen. I mean, like we mentioned,
that's long term.
I think even right now, I would say the bullpen, because guys are still trying to figure out where they fit in and if they still are able to contribute. And like we said, Alex Vesia, when he gave that hit to Cronenworth in the NLDS, did that do something to his confidence? I mean, I think he was riding high until that moment. And I think that you're going to see them do fine because they're going to put them in positions to have success as far as playing the matchups. And also, you got to put things into perspective and realize that it was just a one-run game. So for the most part, Evan Phillips did his job. Caleb Ferguson did his job. And if you're going to continue to get depth from the starting pitching, you're going to be able to have success. But yeah, I mean, until Daniel Hudson comes back and you start to have guys that are familiar with those roles, and Evan Phillips is proving that he is not just a one-year wonder or something like that, because we know he was solid in 2021, but last year he broke out and emerged as one of the best relievers in the game. If he's still that guy, I'll still feel a lot better about it. But not a lot of veterans. I mean, Vesia has some experience, Yancey has some experience, Ferguson has some experience, but they're not tried and true veterans that have done it for 3 or 4 years. So they still have a lot to prove. And Brusdar Graterol, to me, he's like the ultimate project at this point. I think they still need, it's every year, it's when will Brusdar Graterol figure out that secondary pitch.
He's real, like, it's real off and on whether or not you feel you can put him in high leverage. And that's kind of a concern, you know? So, yeah, that's definitely something. I mean, I'm interested in having this conversation again in exactly 1 month and seeing how we feel about these two things. So we'll move on from that. Let's get in a few comments, and then we'll get into the last little section of the show where we look ahead to what's going on this week for your Dodgers, and then we'll get the hell out of here. Gabriel or Gabrielle, or however you pronounce your name, Mr. or Mrs. Villarreal says, let the kids play. We need energy and urgency. Too laid back. Again, I still feel this is a team trying to kind of find its identity right now and try to learn to play together. I mean, we're reusing old choo-choo trains from David Peralta. They don't know what they're doing yet. You know, I want one of these. Give me something meaty.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Dab
Seth Gribble says, Doug, do a post-game show after a win for once.
You know what's funny? I think someone commented that on one of the post game shows. He was like, "Do you only do post game shows after losses?" First of all, my favorite thing is doing it after a win, but losses are kind of fun too because you can really dive into what happened
right
wrong
after a Craig Kimbrell blown
That's
save.
always good. Those are some of the highest rated ones. But
what are the days we're trying? You're hoping to try to do post games this year, just so people know.
I mean, really, I did one. The only reason I didn't do it on opening day because I was at the game, covering the game there.
Coward.
I could have brought the YOLO box and done it from there, but that was my mistake. But yeah, and then Sunday and then Saturday. I'm still really trying to figure out like the perfect schedule, to be honest with you. But at least 3 times a week. I mean, I think 3-4 times a week. I'm really trying to hit as much as I possibly can. With the games going as fast as they are, I do think it's really easier to just plug right in and get it going, because I know we would be, you guys know down below, the Diane Schroeders of the world, we'd be burning the midnight oil until the wee hours of the morning. So yeah, you're going to see more post-game shows, and hopefully you'll see the first W post-game show Tuesday tomorrow. So we'll be back at it tomorrow, and hopefully they get that done. I'm going to call it right now. We're going to do a post-game show after the Dodgers win on Tuesday, after they beat the Rockies.
Did the Dodgers win on Wednesday?
Yes.
We're all winners because it's a day off.
Yeah.
Roach says, first an hour into the show. Appreciate that. BC responded to Seth Gribble saying, yeah, it's like Doug is trying to jinx the team. What's going on with that? Why you being like that? With your lost post game shows. Dodgers Chloe says, Dodgers Nation with the best Dodgers content ever. Thank you, Chloe. Very much appreciate that. Roach says, Clint, I saw you in my dreams last night. I believe they call that a nightmare. Friend of the show, Craig Osterberg says, Muncie has lost his touch. I'm still gonna give him some time. I feel like he's gonna get somewhere useful. And we're all going to be happy people. I know I'm way behind in the comments because I scrolled way back to find that one. Roach says we don't have that Prime Brandon League. That's pretty good. What else we got? I got something. Diane likes the plan of an August meetup. Jenny's in the stream, says hi D-Mac, hi Clint. Hi Jenny. Good to see ya. Good to see your name in here. What else? Let's see. Probably should just move on to the next segment then, because there's a lot of things and it just leads down a rabbit hole of another 25 minutes. So sorry, we will be better at the comments. I keep saying that, but then Doug and I just, we start talking.
It's not a Blue Heaven show if you guys don't say it.
It's fair. That's fair. All right, guys. Dodgers week ahead. This is brought to you by GearUp.LA. That is a merch store that benefits our team a whole lot. So GearUp.LA is kind enough to sponsor our outro segment this week where we're looking at the Dodgers week ahead. So go to gearup.la. We are going to have a promo code coming real soon, but if you do sign up for the newsletter over there, you get an automatic 10% off your order. And I hear that's as good as free money. Ooh. So there's merch, there's things, there's I think we're gonna have some posters going up in there, trying to get some new stuff. So if you guys have things in there, or you have designers you want to give us for free, you know, whatever, you can get yourself.
I don't care about my friends and family. Doug McCain
You
shirts
can get
will
a
be
Blue
up there.
Heaven
Taken
shirt.
out of context.
This was a prototype mug, but eventually I'll put one of those in that store. I'll try to get that in there. But hey, you got 2 games with the Rockies and another 4 ungodly games with the Diamondbacks in Arizona. Rotation will be the same. We're seeing Michael Grove for the first time in about an hour, a little less than an hour. What are your predictions? What do you think the Dodgers do in these 6 games? How do they come out of it?
6 games. Let's go.
I want predictions from everybody in here,
You
by
want
the way.
predict? I think I'll go 4-2. I think 4-2 is a solid number. I think
4-2.
Michael Grove, they win tonight. That'll really springboard them. And then, of course, you get back to the top of the rotation with Julio Urias. I don't like this scheduling. I don't like a front-loaded Diamondback schedule. I think the excitement of a baseball season, you had the Diamondbacks 8 times
and Rockies.
and the Rockies. I mean, it feels very spring training-ish to me. But, yeah, I'm going 4-2. What do you say?
I got 3-3. I think this is going to be a real
500.
A real 500 mid team for a little while, which is great because it gives us a lot of things to complain about, a lot of content. Hey, Dodgers Nation Roundtable is going to be fire this year because we're going to be talking about firing Dave Roberts. No, I don't want that. Dave is a very, very nice boy. By the way, we have a shout out in here, Dodgers Chloe. She's got one of the Gear Up LA shirts.
I like that
the
name,
Game Over Retro
Chloe.
Mookie shirt. I personally requested that style design, and it came out very, very nice. So if you guys want that shirt, it's pretty fire. Check it out, gearup.la. Yeah, I got 3-3. What do you guys? Oliver says they're gonna go 0-6.
Whoa,
just like the amount of showers you took last week. Oh, so I mean, hey, somebody showered once.
Hey.
7 days in a week. Learn to count, Dick.
Just got to shower once a month and you're good.
What's what do you think the record? So we got that's a 1-5.
5-1 from Noah
Once
Cameras.
you do it for my eyeballs. All right, 5-1 from that fool Noah. What do
Noise
you,
by
what do you got?
Noel.
What?
Yo, I feel 6-0.
6-0.
Oh, from that
white
fool.
pill. White pill. White pill.
I was gonna say shout out to DeBrickshaw Ferguson. I'm saying 6-0 as well.
Oh wow!
6-0. Don't
Well,
take them to Vegas.
Some of us are very positive.
I would say
Some
I
of
love
us
a
are
6-0. That Diamondbacks team, they're pesky, man. That Diamondbacks
They
team
find
is
a way.
much improved offensively. Their pitching staff. I mean, I was so impressed with Corbin Carroll. That guy was lights out.
We're gonna go 4-0 in Arizona and jump in that pool, baby.
You jump in that pool.
Saw the pool when I was out there for the WBC game. It's a very nice pool.
Yeah.
It's a very nice pool. One guy
Bring back some
wore
memories.
one of those what do they call them, shirts? And it's I pee in pools, and I was like,
Clay was
that-
shirtless in Arizona.
That is the shirt you wear to a public pool. I
Wait.
pee in pools.
Is that the same stadium where the guy did the shoey? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm
Do
just
not.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
Dude,
Not
no,
again.
no.
I was gonna say though, the new celebration, maybe they should do a shoey with water.
That'd be kind of cool. We
Don't
can do
That'd be kind of
encourage him in any way.
No, not him. I'm saying
the
the
team.
Dodgers.
Did you
That'd be kind of funny. He's wearing it right
but
now.
The,
Wearing
the
it?
bottom of my foot has been peeling for like a month since that, so I don't know what the deal is with that.
Hey,
I think
D-Mac, do the shoey right now.
it's code 0, so would it be the same?
Oh, okay. Well, you didn't have to tell people it was a
did
Coke
water
Zero.
last time, didn't you?
No,
you
you did
don't
a beer.
drink?
That was straight
I
vodka,
thought it was
baby.
against your religion.
That was tequila and vodka combined.
Christianity.
DK, hey, shout out. I love when I point at Cody. My hand's right here in Doug's face. DKM says 4-2. Michael Carrillo says 2-4. Diane has a 4-2 record for your Dodgers. Nando 390 says my wife loves the DMAC, which well, you know what they say.
And the D-Mac loves your wife.
Man. All right, I guess that's hey Max. I guess we'll get you out on this one. Doom South is 5-1. So
Are you a diehard
hopefully-
Dodgers fan?
Oh, I remember my first time pushing a button. Hopefully, you guys picked a winner. We'll never know. We're not going to remember any of these numbers because we're really bad at that. But we appreciate you guys hanging out with us.
Can I give someone? I forgot who the name is. I got to look it up. But someone in the chat last week, they predicted James Outman not only to hit the first homer of the season, but they had it. Here, I have it right here. Actually, it was Cesar Renteria on YouTube. Pick Outman in the 6th.
Let's go.
Cesar.
So good for you.
Cesar
Wait,
or
was that
Caesar?
mine and Noah's pregame show?
Yeah, your pregame show.
You
You watched
that?
it?
Of course, I watch everything.
Oh, Doug.
I matched that. Like
I wasn't even there.
But Gene loved his impression of me.
That mine's pretty better.
Yeah,
but, you know.
yours is better.
Yours had heart.
So shout out to Cesar Renteria because we both had James Alvin as our
Cesar
first
or
home run.
Cesar?
Cesar's Torres.
Why are you looking at me? Because I'm a brown dude? Wow.
Anyways.
Looking for a lifeline. Throw me a lifeline.
Thanks for surviving with us somehow, as we do always. We turned this into an hour and 15 or an hour plus, but it's a good time, good show. If you guys want to watch a shorter show, hey, go check out the Lakers 248 YouTube channel. Those guys did a roundtable, and it was under 20 minutes. And also stay tuned for an hour and a half with Jose Mota coming up on the YouTube channel. So subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a like, leave a comment on everything you can on our YouTube channel because it really, really helps out the algorithm and it keeps us alive. It keeps the light on over at Motel 6. We are on the DodgersNation.com where our articles are at, and you could read them there, as you heard me say earlier in the infomercial. So you want to keep up with your Dodgers all season long, that is a great spot to do it. We try to get you the best ish content that we can. We are a podcast. Just go to any podcast platform, preferably your preferred one, and search for Blue Heaven Podcast. We're probably going to pop up in there. I am Real FRG on Twitter and Instagram. That gentleman right there is DMAC_LA. We are Dodgers Nation on Twitter and Instagram. Shout out to Cody for running the buttons and the ones and threes. Go follow Noah Cameras because it's his greatest life's accomplishment to get some followers. That lifestyle, and also follow at Noise by Noel, the backup producer extraordinaire, and he's very a handsome devil, I hear.
The Rizzler.
Bye.